Okay, let's go through the 2000 American League Diamond Gems tournament that I played. You see my brackets and seedings right there. I'm going to speak later on in the video as to my thoughts on the rankings later on. But right now, I just want to get right into the games and show you guys what happened in this tournament. In the first play-in game, you've got the number 9 ranked, the 0-2 Oakland A's, taking on the number 8 seed, the 2001 Seattle Mariners. And you're going to see the Mariners win this one by a score of 10-1. The 2002 A's actually had a 1-0 lead going into the bottom half of the seventh inning of this game, but the game turned where, with second and third and one out, and Carlos Guillen at the plate, he hits a fly ball to Terrence Long in center field, and T. Long is a 4 in center field, so that comes up a double, and then after that, the Mariners just completely took over. RBI walk by Edgar Martinez, 2-run single by Olerud, and then they tack on 5 more runs in the bottom half of the eighth inning. So Seattle, the 2001 Seattle Mariners, are moving on to the next play-in game where they would play the 2007 Boston Red Sox. But first, I want to show you what happened between the number 7 seed, the 2006 Detroit Tigers, taking on the number 6 seed, the 2008 Tampa Bay Rays. We've got Verlander going up against Shields in this game, and you're going to see the '06 Tigers win this one by a score of 5-3. The game was 3-3 going into the top half of the ninth inning, and with one on and two out, Magglio Ordonez hits a 2-run home run off of Troy Percival, and it was a home run just sitting right there on 5-5 on Troy Percival's card. Um, so, nothing you can really do about that. So the 2006 Tigers are moving on. They will move on to the best of 3 round where they would play the 2002 Anaheim Angels. Now, let me get into the last playing game. The 2001 Mariners taking on the 2007 Red Sox. Aaron Seeley for the Mariners, and Josh Beckett is on the mound for the '07 Red Sox. And you can see Boston wins this one by a score of 3-2 off the strength of 3 solo home runs. Ortiz hits one in the bottom of the third. Varitek hits one in the bottom half of the sixth, and leading off the bottom half of the eighth inning with Arthur Rhodes on the mound, David Ortiz hits a solo home run leading off the inning. And I kind of chuckled a little bit when that happened because, you could kind of see that happening in real life, can't you? I mean, can't you just figure Fenway Park, fans standing, crowd going nuts, leading off the bottom half of the eighth inning, and Ortiz takes Rhodes over the bullpens in right center field. Papelbon rose a scoreless ninth inning. So my best of 3 round is set up where we have the number 7 seed, the 2006 Detroit Tigers, at the number 3 seed, the 2002 Anaheim Angels. And in the top bracket, and I really hate having to play series like this, but we've got the 2004 Red Sox hosting the 2007 Boston Red Sox. So first, let me go through Tigers Angels. Let's see what happens in this best of 3 in game number 1. We've got Jeremy Bonderman going up against Ramon Ortiz, and you're going to see the Angels take game number 1 by a score of 4-3. Tim Salmon gets a walk-off ribby single with 2 outs in the bottom half of the ninth inning. This was just bad luck on the part of the Tigers because that was a fly ball to center field, and Curtis Granderson is a 2 in center, but it just came up a hit. So the Angels get the first game 4-3. So the Tigers, facing elimination in game number 2, have Nate Robertson on the mound. He's going up against Jared Washburn. And you're going to see the 2002 Angels are moving on to the semifinals as they win this one by a score of 5-3. There was 2 on and 2 out in the top half of the ninth inning. Tigers at bat, of course, and I decided to pinch hit Dimitri Young for Polanco just because the Angels had Percival on the mound. closing the game, obviously. And Percival's 2002 card that year, he is not very good at getting left-handed hitters out. And I did kind of say to myself, if the situation arises where I could pinch hit Young for one of these right-handed bats, I'm going to do it. Now, I didn't feel like Young's card was good enough to pinch hit for Shelton, Monroe, or Brandon Inge. You see, Inge reaches with two out and nobody on an Eckstein error, and then Granderson got a hit. So that was my opportunity to bring up the lefty Dimitri Young facing Troy Percival. He makes out. So the 2002 Angels are moving on to the semifinals where they will take on the number two seed, the 2005 Chicago White Sox. Okay, so let's go through the 2007 Red Sox at the 2004 Red Sox. And keep in mind, these best of three series start the day after um, the playing game. So because the 2007 Sox pitched Josh Beckett in the play-in game, they're going to go with Kurt Schilling in game number one, and of course that sets up a Kurt Schilling versus Kurt Schilling matchup. Again, this is the 2007 Sox at the '04 Sox, and you're going to see that the 2007 team wins this one by a score of 8-6. The 2007 Sox had an 8-1 lead going into the bottom half of the sixth inning, and then the 2004 squad was able to cut into the lead and make it a game again. And even in the bottom half of the ninth inning, with Papelbon in to close it out, the 2004 Sox were able to get a run in and actually brought the tying run to the plate, but Bellhorn makes the last out of the game. And I was really trying to do everything I could at that point to extend the game, to try to get Ortiz or Manny Ramirez up in that bottom half of the ninth inning. But the '07 Sox win the all important first game of this best of three, 8-6, which means the 2004 Boston Red Sox are facing elimination going into game number two. We've got Daisuke Matsuzaka facing Pedro Martinez. And you're going to see it's the 2007 Boston Red Sox moving on to the semifinal round as they win this one by a score of 3-2. Everything was looking pretty good for the '04 Red Sox. Pedro Martinez, you could see he was really kind of pitching in and out of trouble. For most of the game. You see his stat line. He allowed 14 base runners in 6+ innings of work. And in that top half of the seventh inning, if I just go down the play-by-play, you have a Lugo walk, a single by Euclid, and then David Ortiz hits a 3-run home run. And then after the Manny single, I pulled Pedro out of there. But give credit to the 2007 Red Sox. Between Okajima, Timlin, and Papelbon, they were able to shut the '04 Red Sox down. So the 2007 Boston Red Sox are moving on to the semifinal round where they will take on the 2009 New York Yankees. And the '07 Red Sox are sitting in pretty good shape as they move on to this best of five round, because you got to think of it as now the '07 Sox get 2 days off going into the semifinal round. So for the most part, the '07 Sox rotation is set as they go up against the 2009 New York Yankees. And that's where we'll get started. Game one, Josh Beckett going for the 2007 Sox, CC Sabathia for the '09 Yanks. And game number one, you see the Yankees take this one easily by a score of 11-1. You see Teixeira had a really big day, 4 hits, home run, 3 RBI, 3 runs scored. So the Yankees are up 1-0 in this best of five. In game number two, we got Kurt Schilling going up against AJ Burnett. The '07 Sox take this one by a score of 6-2. So we go back to Fenway Park with the series tied a game apiece. In the all important game number three now with the series tied, Andy Pettit going up against Daisuke Matsuzaka. And the Yankees take this one by a score of 8-0 as you see Hideki Matsui hits a solo home run and a two-run home run. So the Yankees win Game Three easily, and this was a really big win. For the '09 Yanks, because this means that they're not going to have to use CC Sabathia on 3 days rest to pitch an elimination game or a game to stave off elimination in game number four. So I decided to throw Jabba Chamberlain out there for the '09 Yanks, and he's going up against Josh Beckett on 3 days rest for the 2007 Red Sox. And you're going to see that the 2009 Yankees are moving on to my American League Championship round as they win this one in 10 innings by a score of 2-1. Robinson Cano hit a one-out solo home run to put the Yankees ahead in that 10th inning. And you really got to give a lot of credit to the Yankee bullpen in this game. After Jobber Chamberlain throws five scoreless innings, Aceves, Hughes, and Rivera combined to throw 5 innings and only allow one run. So the '09 Yankees are moving on to the American League Championship round where they will take on the winner of the 2002 Angels against the 2005 Chicago White Sox. And in game number one, 2002 Angels at 2005 White Sox, we got John Lackey going up against Mark Burley. And in game number one, which was a terrific pitch game on both sides, Mark Burley and the White Sox win this one by a score of 2-0. You can see Burley goes 8 innings and only allows 2 hits. Bobby Jenks closes it out. So the Angels, or excuse me, the White Sox take game number one. In game number two, the 2006 Angels get this one by a score of 6-5, as it was David Eckstein coming up with a big two-out RBI single in the top half of the 12th inning to put the Angels ahead 6-5. Uh, Absolutely awesome performance by the 2006 Angels bullpen in this game. You have Shields, Donnelly, Weaver, and Percival combining to throw 7 innings out of the pen and only allow one run. So we go back to Anaheim with the series tied a game apiece. John Garland going up against Jared Washburn in game number three. White Sox get the all-important game number three by a score of 5-3. AJ Przinsky had a home run in the game. Third baseman Joe Creed had a grand slam to put the White Sox ahead 5-3 in the top half of the sixth inning, and it was Hermanson and Jenks combining to close the game out. So the White Sox have a 2-1 series lead as we go into game number four. We're going to have Jose Contreras going for the '05 Sox, Kevin Apier for the 2002 Angels. And the Angels are able to force a game five as they win this one by a score of 4-1. Just really wasn't able to get anything much going offensively for the 2005 White Sox in this game. They did get another home run by the third baseman Greed, and that put them ahead 1-0 in the top half of the third inning, but they were only able to put together 3 hits for the game. So Angels get this one by a score of 4-1. So that means game five will be back in Chicago, where we have John Lackey going up against Mark Burley. And as you see right here, the 2002 Angels are moving on to the American League Championship round as they are able to shut out the Chicago White Sox by a 3-0 score. John Lackey was just unbelievable in this game as he only allows 2 base runners in 7 innings of work. Donnelly and Percival were able to close it out from there. Burley was, really working in and out of trouble throughout his 6 1/3 innings. You could see he allows 8 hits and 2 walks in 6 1/3 innings, and um, the White Sox were very lucky that this game really did not get out of hand because you could see all the base runners that the Angels were able to put up there. But again, I just couldn't get anything rolling for the 2005 White Sox offense. They were only able to muster up 1 hit. You had a spattering of walks throughout the game, but really no real rallies to really speak of. In the bottom half of the eighth inning, You had a AJ Przinsky walk, and then Willie Harris came off the bench to draw a two-out walk. So with the score 3-0, two on and two out, Scott Pazensky at the plate. I guess that was a kind of interesting moment in the game, but just couldn't get anything going for the 2005 White Sox. So that means my championship round in my 2000's American League Diamond Gems tournament will be the 2002 Anaheim Angels taking on the 2009 New York Yankees. And in game number one, we have Ramon Ortiz going up against CC Sabathia. First two games will be played in Yankee Stadium, and the Yankees take the first game by a score of 6-1. You have back-to-back home runs by Teixeira and A-Rod in the bottom half of the fourth, and then a three-run homer by Swisher, followed up by a solo homer by Brett Gardner. So all the Yankee runs via the home run. They take game number one, 6-1. In game number two, Jared Washburn against AJ Burnett. Angels were able to get a decent outing out of Jared Washburn as they get off to a 4-0 lead after 4.5 innings. Yankees got back into the game with two runs in the bottom half of the sixth inning. But you could see Shields came into the game for Washburn. He gets A-Rod to hit into a double play to end that bottom half of the sixth inning. And then from there, Donnelly and Percival were able to close it out. So we go back to California with the series tied a game apiece. Game three, Andy Pettit going up against John Lackey. And Lackey once again comes through with a big performance for the Angels. Remember, he pitched the fifth and deciding game in Chicago to get the Angels to this championship round. Angels win this one by a score of 3-1 as Lackey just completely shut down the Yankees. You see, he only allowed two hits and two walks in 7 innings of work. Once again, Donnelly and Percival combined for two scoreless innings to close the game out. So through 3 games, the 2002 Angels have a 2-1 series lead. So in game number four, 2009 Yanks really don't have another choice. They got to bring CC Sabathia back on 3 days rest. He's going up against Kevin Apier for the Angels. And you could see in game number four, the Yankees get 4 runs in the top half of the fifth inning. There was a big error by second baseman Benji Gill with one out and one on. Posada was up. Um, Gill commits the error, and that's followed up immediately by Nick Swisher 3-run homer. Then, after a Cano double, a Brett Gardner RBI single. Yankees tack on an extra run in the eighth inning with a Johnny Damon home run. So the Yankees get this one 5-0. They tie the series up at 2 games apiece. And moving on into game number five, we have AJ Burnett going on 3 days rest. He's going up against the Angels game one starter, Ramon Ortiz. And let's focus in on this game for a little bit. You see, the Yankees win it 7-6 in 11 innings. It was really what was really pretty wild game. The Angels were able to get 4 runs in the bottom half of the third off of AJ Burnett. Garrett Anderson had a 2-run homer, and then after a grouse walk, DH Brad Fulmer hits a 2-run homer. So it's 4-1 going to the top half of the fifth inning. And in that top half of the fifth inning, Yankees had bases loaded and one out, and Mark Teixeira hits a grand slam. That's followed up by an A-Rod solo homer, so immediately Apier is chased out of the game. And then the Angels were able to come right back with 2 runs of their own in the bottom half of that fifth inning as Garrett Anderson hits another 2-run home run. So we have a 6-6 tie, and that's the way it would stay until the 11th inning, where it was Robinson Cano coming through with a one-out ribby single to score Ramiro Pena, who pinch ran for Jorge Posada. And the Yankees had to use Brian Bruni to close this game because Mariano Rivera had already gone 2 innings. So the 2009 Yanks win a critical game number five. They're going back to New York up 3 games to 2. In game number 6, we have Jared Washburn going for the Angels, and Andy Pettit will pitch game 6 for 3 days rest for the 2009 Yankees. And let's take a look at what happens in game number 6. And you're going to see that the New York Yankees, the 2009 New York Yankees, win my 2000 Diamond Gems American League tournament by winning this one by a score of 5-2. Um, the Angels took a 2-0 lead in the top half of the um, second inning, and then the Yankees were able to get a run back in the bottom half of the fourth inning, and then they had back-to-back home runs by Swisher and Cano in the bottom half of the sixth inning to take the 3-2 lead. And then the Yankees were able to tack on solo runs in the seventh and the eighth inning to win it 5-2. But really, the biggest sequence in this game, I think, came in the top half of the third inning with the Angels already up 2-0. If I could just zoom in on that and show you the play by play, you've got Garrett Anderson leads off with a walk, and then Troy Glaus gets a double, right? So they got second and third and nobody out. And Wooten, Spezio, and Molina all make out. Even Wooten and Spezio's outs were not runner advance. I did have the infield in, but I think one of them was like a fly ball C and another one was a pop out or something like that. So it wasn't even a opportunity to bring someone home on a potential sac fly or anything like that. So the Angels let that scoring opportunity um, get away. And then in the top half of the fifth inning, with the Angels still up 2-1, you could see you had back-to-back walks with two outs. Wooten and Spezio walked. I did honestly think about pinch hitting for Benji Molina here, thinking that this was a very critical point in the game. I did think about pinch hitting Palmero for Molina here with the Angels up 2-1 because I really felt like that was a really kind of like a must score opportunity for them where they had to get a run across. It didn't work out. I just let Molina hit. Um, and then you see in the top half of the sixth inning, again, the Angels were able to put two guys on. They had first and third with two out, and Garrett Anderson made out. So the Angels really had numerous opportunities in those middle innings to extend the lead. And the one thing about when you're playing against the 2009 New York Yankees, you really can't let scoring opportunities get away because really at a moment's notice, the 2009 Yankees can just completely go off after if they get shut out for a game and then the next game, like it's 2-0 after 5 innings or whatever. You get what you see at the end of game number 6, back-to-back home runs by Swisher and Cano, and then Cano hits another home run in the bottom half of the eighth inning. So it's an offense that could just explode at any moment. So the 2009 Yankees win my 2000 American League's Diamond Gems tournament. So, did the best team win this tournament? In my opinion, yes. I do believe the 2009 Yankees are the best team in this set. In fact, if I had to rank them, I would probably go '09 Yankees 1, '01 Mariners number 2, '07 Red Sox number 3. I would say that those are the three best teams in this set. And also, it did really help the '09 Yankees because I do feel like they had a fairly easy road to victory because of the way that the brackets worked out, because of the rankings. Because in my opinion, the third and second best teams in this set had to play each other in a play-in game, which obviously eliminated one of them. That was the 2001 Seattle Mariners, and then the '07 Red Sox had to go on to play the '04 Red Sox. And not for nothing, but I'm just not crazy about the 2004 Boston Red Sox. I actually did sit down and do fill out my little sheet on them, and I just never got around to doing a video on it. Maybe I'll get around to doing that sometime soon. But I remember being really disappointed with the 2004 Boston Red Sox. I thought they would be a little bit better, but that's a subject for another time. So I felt like if the Yankees can just get through the semifinal round, whoever they played in the semifinals, I felt like they could handle anyone that would cross their way in that would come out of the bottom bracket, that being the 2005 White Sox, 2002 Angels, and then going back to the playing game, '06 Tigers and '08 Tampa Bay Rays. I see the '09 Yankees being a very difficult team to beat because of how good and deep their lineup is. They obviously have the great ace in CC Sabathia, and he's backed up by two good starting pitchers with AJ Burnett and Andy Pettit, and they also have a very good bullpen, very efficient bullpen. Specifically, Phil Hughes and Alfredo Cevis. You could eat up 6 innings in a game if you had to with those two alone. Not to mention David Robertson, who's a 1 inning reliever, also has a very nice card. So this is a very difficult team to beat, and I have a pretty good idea what team in the National League can beat them down the road. I'm just in the process of setting up my 2000's National League Diamond Gems tournament. That set is put together a little differently than the American League set because the National League set only has 8 teams in it, and it only has three World Series champions in it. They did not include the 2006 World Champion St. Louis Cardinals. The St. Louis Cardinals are represented by their 2004 pennant winning team. So that should be a very interesting tournament. And one note which I wanted to make about my American League tournament before I sign off here, I really hated the fact that I had to have the world champion 2007 Boston Red Sox play in a one game playoff. That was just a matter of numbers because it is only a 9 team tournament in this American League, and five of them won the World Series during the decade of the 2000s. So obviously, there had to be one team left out of the mix where you do not play until the first round, which is a best of three. But that's just the way the numbers worked out. And the only reason why the 2007 Red Sox were not ranked ahead of the 2004 Boston Red Sox was because the '04 Red Sox won more games in the regular season. So that plays a factor in my rankings. So those are my results from the 2000 American League Diamond Gems tournament that I played. The 2009 New York Yankees are the winners, and they will sit around and wait and see who they play the winner of the National League Diamond Gems tournament, which I'm just getting around to getting set up right now. So, once again, I thank you all for watching. It is greatly appreciated, and I will talk to you all down the road.